And this is Unbiased Reviews. I'm not from Chicago,
but I'm not complaining. I'm really late to get myself to races. I get the girl stop the races. Your organs like playing operation.
St. Louis.
So niggas stop getting on camera saying you popping them guns. Hey, big Jerry. Yes, sir. That's the way you talk to your son.
Jersey. York.
Rob the bag, like we just hustled together. I'm like, don't get your brain cooked for half. Jim Carrey style, I act different when I put on that mask.
From ATL, man. You see the A on the head, y'all know what time it is. You know, I'm gonna give it to you straight up, no chaser.
Mana, hana, fana, manajana wa. Kana, manawawa, and a hakama. Jana, and a kaka, I got wafa na. Mama, 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 mama.
What up, man? It's your boy Chris. Unbias Review checking in, about to give you a breakdown of O-Red versus X Factor. This is one of those battles that look better on paper than it actually panned out to be. I was expecting a much better battle from both of them. These are two dudes I really like. So, you know, when I heard about the matchup, I was like, this shit gonna be crazy. So I was definitely expecting a much better battle. Then they had a face-off, and they both seemed to be into the face-off as far as like really wanting to make a great battle.
I think he came from one of the, you know what I'm saying, one of them cats when they first got in it, you know, to now he's like he's top dude. So fierce competitor, but you know, at the end of the day, he's going against, you know, a legend and myself. So he better understand that I'm not playing no games.
Legend.
I'm a legend in the game in itself. You hear me? I'm a legend in the battle game itself. Check my resume. Now, anyway, you better know what's coming to him, because if he have for any second, any fragment of a doubt that I'm gonna come like I'm battling Eminem or somebody, then it's gonna be a long night for him. And Eminem is the big homie.
Oh, Red.
But that's how I'm preparing, like I'm battling M.
I feel you.
I was a little disappointed it didn't pan out the way I expected it to be, but you know, let's just get into round one, man. O-Red comes out. Oh, before I touch on that, let's talk about the audio. A lot of battles, they'll take the audio from the surround sound. So that means everything you hear in the club or the venue is like, you get the crowd, you get the boos, the cheers, the claps, the biasness, the whole nine. And sometimes I guess the advantages of it makes you feel like you're in the battle because you can hear everything, but the disadvantage is sometimes the crowds are biased. Sometimes they over talk or over cheer, people rhyming and you can't hear as well. But UW, they basically took the audio from the mics that were attached to the battlers' shirts. So being that they were on stage and they were a good distance from the crowd, it was hard to pick up the crowd audio unless it was like a big ass cheer or something. So I mean, the advantages to that is you can hear everybody really clear. Like you can hear Arsenal and Mav and O-Red and X really clear, but you don't really get the crowd participation that you would have got had you been able to pick up that audio from the crowd. So, but UW is a new lead. They'll live and learn. The first time they had an event, you know, Arsenal mic was falling off when he battled Rex. Cortez mic was falling off when he battled Suge. You know, they always had a good camera, so I give them that. You know, they've been HD out the gate. And, you know, and it's just like trials and tribulations anytime you start something new. You know what I'm saying? So just give them time, bear with them. I think they on the right. Get into O-Red round one. He had a pretty good round, man. I felt like he started kind of slow. He addressed the whole clip situation and how, you know, X Factor really rapped for about 15 minutes, even though he was on Twitter whining about rapping only 10 minutes and how Clips had doubled the time limit. You know, that really wasn't true either. I went back in time the whole rounds or whatever, and I mean, obviously Clips rap longer, but X wasn't as far apart as he was making it seem like, and a lot of other people were. If you actually stop and start the amount of times Clips had stopped his round. But, so then he went from that, the whole L2 and you have to battle O-Red line. Basically saying the fact that you took this battle is confirming that you lost the Clips. I thought that was a pretty nice setup the way he said that. After that, he went into the name flips. I thought those were kind of nice. The P90X, the Project X, and the X-Flax line was really dope. I just dissed everybody in the DX. I thought that line was kind of nice. Overall, I felt like he had a good round, not great. Started off kind of slow, but I still fuck with his round. X Factor comes back around when he does the translations. The shit was funny as hell. Shit had me rolling when I first heard it. You know, he talked about the Queen of the Ring. Miss Hustle bodied you. That was a little overblown. Obviously, Miss Hustle did not body O-Red. He talked about, he had red flips, which was kind of hot. And they had tooth jokes. He had like way too many of them though. They were actually kind of corny. Some of them were pretty good when he first said them, but he talked about tooth jokes like every round, and it got to be a little bit whack, to be honest with you. So if I, you know, I thought both their rounds were kind of just so-so. You know, I really wasn't feeling neither one of their rounds, to be honest with you, but you know, I felt like O-Red had a better round one than X Factor did. O-Red comes back around two. He starts talking about the gay shit, kind of following up what Verb said. I thought that was kind of a corny angle, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Especially since it's so recent that Verb said it. Like, I didn't like that shit at all. He also kept saying how X is a klepto and he's stealing people's bars and all kind of stuff like that. I didn't like that either because it's like he battled Calico that way. And it was almost kind of like, I just felt like I was rehearing the Verb battle and the Calico battle like all over again. And I just felt like I didn't really want to hear that. So after he got past that, he was like, stop trying to be OX before you get put in one. That line was dope. You know what I'm saying? BOX box. That shit was fire. The J Hood line was pretty nice. And that was pretty much the rest of his round too. You know what I'm saying? He spent a lot of his time just trying to tell you how much, X Factor is a klepto. So X Factor comes back around too. He has a lot of red flips, a couple more tooth jokes or whatever. He had a lot of red flips, you know, red wings, red tails, red bull, red stripes, red skins. All of those were dope to me the way he set them up. I thought they were nice. The Glad plug-in line was nice. The Aflac line was pretty nice. You know, he stopped kind of abruptly though in this round, talking about he had more. If you really listen to the audio, he was like, I had a lot more, but they not really feeling it. Let's get the fuck out of here and get this bread. To be honest with you, I didn't really care to hear that on audio because, you know, I hate niggas taking battles for money. And that's almost kind of what I felt like with X Factor in this battle. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying O-Red can't beat him. I just feel like X Factor could have put up a better fight because I felt like, you know, he didn't really bring it as well as he could have this battle. And he did a lot of talking through rounds. Like, I hate when X Factor does that. He did it with clips too. It's like you can almost tell when he's losing a battle or feeling uncomfortable because the nigga just started talking through your rounds. I mean, O-Red did a little bit of that when he was trying to say that, you know, such and such said this already and such said this already. He did that a lot when X Factor was rapping too. But X Factor to me just talked a lot more though. And I just felt like he was talking to Clips, which was kind of odd. I didn't even really know him and Clips fuck with each other like that. But I mean, he was talking to Clips. He was talking to this nigga behind him. I mean, he was just doing way too much talking. So overall, I still would give X Factor round 2 because I was just feeling his round a lot more. I didn't like none of that gay shit and none of that klepto bar shit that Red was saying in the beginning. So I just felt like that's an easy angle and too predictable. So I didn't like it. Red comes back in round 3. This round is classic. Like, he just killed X Factor in this round. The OBGYN line, the Tim Tebow line, you know what a tsunami would do, have you out back like a gazebo. That shit was nice. And the way he addressed the priorities about I'd rather see my family smile than to get my tooth fixed.
Real nigga shit. My son got a closet full of Jordans, my nigga. Leapfrog. I bought him learning curve toys for him, nigga. Hello books just so his mom could read him stories, my nigga. And she's still getting that child support from a nigga. The shit I watch on TV is boring, but adoring, my nigga, cause he love it. From Fresh Beat Band to Dora, my nigga. The moral of this little story, my nigga. No, don't tell me, but the moral of this little story, my nigga. I'd rather see my family smile than fix mine. That's priorities, nigga.
I thought that shit killed the tooth jokes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was fucking with that totally. I mean, the only knock I have against O-Red is that anytime you gonna wear Nike foam shoes at least have on a Nike shirt, my nigga. Like, the nigga had on like Nike shoes and Adidas shirt. I don't know. I don't really like talking about niggas' wardrobe too much. Niggas be trying to diss me. Why you always looking at what niggas wear in a battle? But man, sometimes, my nigga, you just, like, when you know 200 to 300 or 400,000 people is gonna watch your battle, your swag need to be on point.
Your swag's off, fat.
I talked to him. I got his phone number, so, you know, I asked him about the shit. He was like, well, you know, I was supposed to be wearing some shit. My homeboy was supposed to be bringing me some apparel from his company and I was going to wear it, but the shit didn't get here on time and I just had to throw some shit together. So it sounded like a worthy excuse, but at the end of the day, this unbiased review, man, I got to point that shit out. You can't rock Adidas and Nikes. But anyway, other than that, classic round 3. X Factor comes back in round 3 and I don't know if the nigga was trying to rebuttal, trying to freestyle, but you cannot do a rebuttal by talking. Like, you must rhyme. And the nigga was just basically talking his way through a rebuttal, which I thought was kind of whack. He did a hotel flips. That was kind of dope. The DoubleTree, the Westin, the Marriott. I might be leaving out a hotel, but I thought all of those flips were nice. The tooth jokes, even after O-Red killed the tooth shit with his round, saying it, doing his priorities, X Factor comes back with more tooth jokes, which seemed lame as fuck at this point. So, I mean, that shit was a fail. Soap scheme that he did was pretty decent, but we've seen Ilmac do a soap scheme, and we've seen Arsenal do a soap scheme too, so that shit was just mad redundant.
You couldn't caress a bitch if you offered her the finer things. Before summer trip to Ireland, maybe an Irish Spring. Y'all like X-Mean. I swear to God, that nigga Wild and Rare couldn't dial a bitch if you leave her 2,000.
But if I have to dial my bitch Ivory and interrupt the first day of her Irish Spring, you're gonna need a safeguard for protection for whenever she let that iron ring. Her record's zestfully clean, and she a diva who's wildin'. If I really want off with your head, all I do is leave her 2,000.
Serious Jones, this was like the best part about his round 3. I mean, I think O-Red clearly won the 3rd round. So I give O-Red rounds 1 and 3. I think it's hard for anybody to give X Factor the battle unless they just like the jokes, because he definitely had some, you know what I'm saying? So if you were just feeling a lot of those tooth jokes, then you might run with him in a particular round. But, you know, I've seen better battles from both, but I definitely thought 2-1 O-Red, rounds 1 and 3. Shout out to the Facebook group, this Unbiased Review. Thanks for the support. Holla at your boy.